Hey guys, I just wanted to share with you kind of my MEPS experience. But yeah, I just got back from MEPS about I'd say 2 days ago. What is today? Today's Friday. Wow. Yeah. So I got back 2 days ago. I went to the one in Tampa. So yeah, I'm just gonna share with you how it went. First off, I just want to tell you there's really nothing to be afraid of or nervous about. I know right before I went, I was freaking out like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm hearing all these stories, um, and I'm just making it bigger than it really is. Because really, honestly, it's just like going to the doctor to get a regular checkup and whatnot, and filling paperwork, and it's really not that big of a deal. Um, but yeah, the first thing that you do, you get off the bus, they line you up. You go through the metal detector, they line you up again, according to what branch of service you're in. Um, and the ladies go first. They put their baggage in a little storage room. Um, then the men go. They put their we all put our bags in the storage room. Then to make another line um, to go to the control desk, and we give our little packet of information there that the recruiters gave us to the person at the control desk. We put our fingerprint into the scanner, and they take a picture of us. They hand us a packet of information that we have to hold with us the whole time. Then after that, she sent us over. Like she sent me over to to the medical briefing area. But they pretty much just grabbed me because sometimes it's not really, I guess, not really a set order of things, because they're just trying to get you in and out. First, I went to the medical briefing room where one of the guys there, he took my blood pressure. And then from there, I just went and did my vision test. Simple, just test your color vision. Obviously you see, look those the little scope looking thing to see, how good your vision is. Then after that, I went to the hearing test, and pretty much that's just this big old booth. There's about 8 seats in there, with um, 8 stools, and with their little headphones and a little clicker. And pretty much they close the booth. Everyone's facing the wall, and when you listen for the tone, you just click at the thing, and when you're done, you get out. And they hand you your scores, and you're done with that. So after I did the hearing test, I went back to the medical briefing room. Waited for everybody else to get there, and that's when they started the actual briefing of what our stay was going to be like at MEPS. Just gave us a brief overview and what's to be expected and whatnot. Then we actually had the medical briefing after that, and that was more of the actually going through the hardcore medical kind of stuff, and filling out paperwork and making sure that you fill it out right. So just make sure that you're listening to the instructions, because there's some things that if you don't fill it in right the first time, it could penalize you, and you might not be able to swear in that day. Make sure you just listen. But so yeah, after we fill out all the paperwork and some security questions and whatnot, then you do a little breathalyzer test, and they sent me over to, because he just picked a bunch of us from the front row, and he's just like about 6 of us, and so we went over to this big room, and that's where I'm sure you guys have heard of that whole duck walk thing. Yeah, that's where that happened. So first you get into that room, and someone, I forget the guy's name, but he's just, he tells us we got to take off all our clothes except for our underwear, obviously. Um, and it's just this giant empty room with just this long bench against the back wall, with individual hooks, spaced along the back side of the wall. And so, he asked us, we have to hang up our clothes, and we have to put our socks in our shoes with the backs of the shoes against the wall, And so we're just standing there waiting, and then individually he calls us up, and we have to, he gets our height measurements, he gets our weight. So then after that, then he told me, wait at the stool here until the doctor calls you in. There was about I think there was 3 doctors on that day, and so yeah, the doctor calls me in. It's no big deal. It's just like a regular thing. He asks you a few questions based on your paperwork. then he just goes through the regular physical, checks my eyes, checks my ears, and then you have to drop your pants. Then this is the part where everyone freaks out or really gets uncomfortable, I guess, but it's really not that bad. All right, bend over, spread your cheeks. Oh, okay, you're good. So I mean, it wasn't that bad. I was done after that. Just waited until everyone else was finished. Then we all lined up because there was like different numbers on the floors where each one of us stood, and we had to do all these sort of different maneuvers. I guess it's just to test. If there's any problem with our joints or anything. Like there were some movements where we hold our hands together and we have to like flap them back really fast a few times, something like that, or we'd have to like hold our hands straight out parallel to the floor and do all these wishy-washy moves with your hands. And the famous the duck walk thing, that's basically you just squatting. You squat on the floor with your hands on your hips, and you just have to walk. You have to walk to a certain point and back, and they're just watching to make sure that everything in your body is functioning properly, and that I guess there's no major problems with your joints, kind of thing. But once you're done with that, then it's not that big a deal. He sent us out to do the urinalysis. Pretty much in that specific bathroom, there's about 4 urinals, and they do have to watch you pee. I mean, it's not like they're up so close, like, oh man, but they're there. You got to pick up a cup, pee in the cup. Make sure that you drink enough water, because if you can't pee and you can't pee, and for that day, because he told us straight up, if you can't pee by 11:30, then I'm sorry, you're gonna have to come back another time, and that sucks. So just make sure that you have enough water in your system. So pee, put it, seal it in the cup. You put your little sticker that he told you to put on your hand onto the cup with the corner peeled off, and he opens up this little window where the other, one of the other guys who's actually doing the little test. Yeah, so he dips a little wand in there, and he checks you off, blah blah blah, gives you back your paperwork. Yeah, then after that, the only thing left for me, as far as where I was at in my processing, I just had to do the blood test. So I just wait in line. And this is the part where everyone was scared about. I was freaked out about it a little bit because, I had heard stories and I'd seen YouTube things of people getting crazy bruises on their arms and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't really like needles to begin with, especially right here in my arm, when they're trying to take blood and stuff. But it really wasn't bad. I got there, wrapped my arm up, started squeezing the little cushiony thing. First time went in, no problem, barely felt anything. Got it out, good to go. And I was freaking out too, thinking, oh man, they're gonna have to take like 3 different things of blood, and oh man, nah, you just need 1 vial. Then after that, we went to the checkout station, but I guess it was kind of busy, so she just told us, hey, go ahead and go to lunch, and when you come back, and I'll call you guys up. So I went to lunch. Everything's provided for you. It was like subs, and subs and chips and stuff like that. And after lunch, came back. She had all my paperwork. She gave it to me. Then I went to my liaison, and that's where you do all more of the paperwork stuff and just signing, electronic signing over and over and over, printing out and putting everything together. And then after that, you actually have a security, I guess, interview. Before I actually went out to MEPS, I had to fill out this whole packet, this security packet of like where I've lived and where I've worked, and all this different kind of stuff. And just pretty much the interviewer, he goes over every little single thing, every little detail with you, just to make sure that it's correct. So my advice to you would be, make sure that before you go to MEPS, before you do anything else, make sure that you fix any kind of errors at the recruiter station, because it's going to save you a big headache. Because I remember when I went, there was a lot of errors on my paper, and yeah, I messed up big time, and I was stressing out like crazy. And if I would have just made sure that all my stuff was together and really paid attention to that stuff before I actually went out to MEPS, it would have saved me a big headache. So yeah, just make sure that all your paperwork's done before you go to MEPS and correct and everything like that. Um, so yeah, it goes over that, the interview's done, blah, blah, blah. Then you go to like final processing kind of stuff where uh, they finalize your paperwork pretty much and they go over your job stuff and whatnot. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot to mention. When you are talking to your liaison, if you do have like ROTC, I think you have to have a minimum of like maybe a year and a half of ROTC in high school. Then make sure that you ask about that, or you let your liaison know, um, because that is a potential promotion, um, like an entry level promotion. I know that I wasn't gonna get a promotion. Like he didn't even mark it down. He didn't even know that I was in ROTC until I told him. Like I asked him. I said, um, "Just wanted to ask you, but do I get a promotion for being an ROTC?" He's like, "You're an ROTC? Oh, And so he looks through my paperwork and he highlights. And he looks through my transcripts and like, oh yeah, you do get a promotion. So automatically, he bumped me up. And, but if I wouldn't have said anything, then I would have went in without that promotion. So just make sure that you ask the proper questions. You know, let them know of things that could potentially promote you, because you want to make more money. So yeah, I went to final processing. That's just where they go over all your finalized paperwork, make sure that you know all your information is correct, and that is the job title that you want, and blah blah blah. And they go over these different terms, and then you do your finalized thing of you put your fingerprints through and everything, and that's like the official, I guess, documentation that whatever. And after that, when you get your paper, you go over back to your liaison. Then he sends you back to another room. Now, this is a briefing room um, where you're preparing to actually swear in. And what it is just, there's just a bunch of desks there, and there's a TV there going on, and it's just explaining on how things go and what you're supposed to do and just briefing. Then after that, you open the door, go to the next room, where the actual ceremony room where you do the oath, and you swear in. And I'm sure you can see some videos on swearing in and stuff like that, but get called to attention, put your right hand up, and you repeat everything the guy in front of you says, and then from there you're done. You go back out. You have to take a final picture, one more fingerprint to verify that you have sworn in, and take a little picture again. Send you back out. Get another packet. Go back to your liaison, and you get a little backpack with some more info in your whatever documents you might have brought, like original documents you might have brought with you, and then you're done for the day.